Hello, Kulas. Welcome to Viva Barca and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Ilkay Gundogan as Barca have a verbal agreement with the Manchester City captain over a 3-year deal. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then, secondly, in this episode, we are going to be talking about Brazilian prodigy Vitor Roque as Barca are reportedly ready to table a 35 million plus offer um, for the Brazilian wonderkid. We are also going to be discussing on that development. So guys, before we get right into it, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so. If you're just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are very welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona have received fresh competition from Manchester City lately in their bid to sell Ilkay Gundogan, following the midfielder's blazing performances during the back end of the season. The club are keen on keeping hold of his services. Man City coach Pep Guardiola has already publicly expressed his desire to keep hold of Gundogan in a recent press conference. Barcelona, though, are confident of signing Gundogan at the end of the season. They are calm about the situation, knowing they have a verbal agreement with the player already, according to Dario Sport. The Spanish publication claims that Gundogan desires to reside in Spain, which serves as a massive incentive for him to join Barcelona. He is also ecstatic about the sporting project at the Camp Nou, and with Sergio Busquets set to leave, there is no question that he will become a first-team regular under Xavi Hernandez. The report points out Gundogan has already agreed to join Barcelona ahead of the new season on a 3-year contract, although Manchester City have made efforts to keep hold of the player, notably offering him fresh renewal terms. Ilkay Gundogan remains next on playing his trade at Barca next season. After 7 years in Manchester, the player wants to reside somewhere else. Gundogan's experience and technical ability could prove useful for Barcelona, especially with Busquets leaving the club at the end of the season. The German international could play a key role in guiding an otherwise inexperienced Barcelona midfield unit powered by the likes of Pedri and Gavi. However, it is unlikely Gundogan will be roped in as a replacement for Busquets. That is because the club are actively working to find another midfielder this summer, with Sofian Amrabat emerging as one of the options. Ilkay Gundogan has been one of the most talked about targets for us, and I think that Barcelona are moving towards the right direction. Firstly, Ilkay Gundogan have refused to extend his contract despite Pep Guardiola insisting in the press conference that he really wants Ilkay Gundogan to stay at least for another season. But from the look of things, it seems as though Barcelona are feeling confident and optimistic about signing Ilkay Gundogan as a free agent come end of the season. Of course, Ilkay Gundogan have made 7 years playing for Man City. He was Pep Guardiola's first signing back in 2016. And from the look of things, Ilkay Gundogan wants to change his environment. He wants to play somewhere else. Even though he's having the form of his life at the moment, he is very reluctant to extend his Man City contract. And of course, he wants to leave. Xavi have reportedly spoken with him over the phone, talking about the project for next season. And of course, and also coming at the fact that Sergio Busquets have announced that he will be leaving Barcelona come end of the season, Barcelona will continue to push for Ilkay Gundogan as he is now looked as the most suitable replacement for Busquets. Despite being at the age of 32, Barca still see him as a very good addition to the squad for next season onwards. So it's going to be very, very. In fact, I don't know how to say this, but I think Ilkay Gundogan coming will be a great, great addition to the squad, especially given the fact that he will be a free agent and the fact that the player is desiring a move to the Camp Nou. It gives Barcelona that upper hand that things will go as planned. So let's see how it's gonna go. Um, Barcelona are still to offer him a contract. Like we don't know how many years if he wants to stay, if Barca wants to sign him, but all those will be done immediately if Ilkay Gundogan accepts that he will be joining Barcelona. But of course, City are not willing to surrender. They are still trying to ensure that they can convince their captain to extend his contract. So it remains to be seen how things go from here on. Then on to the final story of discussion. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang became an unexpected part of Barcelona's title-winning squad, having featured in 8 minutes of league action. During the start of the campaign, curiously, Barcelona have been trying to get the Gabonese international back from Stamford Bridge this summer, as they seek a viable alternative to Robert Lewandowski. However, with Chelsea not willing to hand him a letter of freedom, the club are unlikely to make a move. Instead, Barcelona are likely to focus on the pursuit of Vitor Roque. The young star from Brazil has emerged as the club's desired option in the number 9 slot, with many viewing him as a long-term replacement for Lewandowski. Thiago Fernandez has offered an update on Barca's pursuit for Vitor Roque, suggesting that the club have maintained an interest in the player despite the economic limitations and the desire to sign Lionel Messi. The Brazilian journalist claims that the Catalans are even willing to pay up to 45 million euros for the services of the Atletico Paranense striker, who is scouted by Arsenal and PSG as well. Barcelona's economic offer for up to 45 million could come in the form of 35 plus additional 10 million in variables. The negotiations between the two parties have been delayed in recent weeks as the Atletico PR president have been admitted to the hospital. A more definitive update could come in the next few weeks, but it appears Barcelona are determined to get their hands on the teenage prospect as soon as possible, who has already made his international debut with the Brazilian national team. Vitor Roque's technical prowess, coupled with his goal-scoring abilities, could indeed make him smart long-term investment for the club, and in the midst of all this, the role of Deco could prove to be crucial, especially with the former midfielder of Barca also poised to become the next Barcelona sporting director. Of course, Vitor Roque still continues to be admired by Barca, and a move is still in doubt, honestly, because Barcelona have been talking about his interest for such a long time, but we have not seen any green light as of yet. But we just have to keep our fingers crossed to see how things are going to unfold, because it's not only Barca that are interested, other European giants like Arsenal and of course Paris Saint-Germain are also interested. So Barcelona really need to be very, very careful about this, because we won't try to lose another Brazilian player after losing Endrick to Real Madrid. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.